Greetings and welcome back to Rogue Trader. This is episode 5 of my blind playthrough. So yeah, in the last episode I had finally got done with the prologue. How many hours was that? It's been quite a number of hours. That's probably the longest introductory sequence of any game I played in recent memory. Very impressive. And I'm really liking the game. I am really liking the game. So at the end of the last episode as well, at the end of the prologue, I've basically taken my place as the new rogue trader of the ship. I'm now the leader of this band of merrymakers, an assortment of soldiers, researchers, scientists, explorers, and my predecessor, Lady Theodora, was assassinated. So that's one of the mysteries that I'm supposed to solve as well, to find out who the killer is and exact some sort of revenge. And my first order of business right now is to fix the ship because it's in a bad way. It's taking a lot of damage during the mutiny. And once the ship is all fixed up, I'm supposed to head off somewhere to find an interrogator. And I suspect once we meet up with the interrogator, that will kick off the main plot line, the main quest of Rogue Trader. So, okay, this is the first entry in my rumors. No contracts right now. Rumors: Warden of the Expanse. Lord Inquisitor Xavier Calcazar is a powerful and mysterious figure who plays a pivotal role in the fate of the Koronus Expanse. His power is so great that it extends even over rogue traders. What I'm learning is that rogue traders have an immense amount of power and influence, and I guess leeway under the rule of the Imperium. They're afforded a lot of resources and just general freedoms to act and explore as they wish. Their job is to sort of push the boundaries of humanity's influence in the galaxy. So in order to do that, they are given much leeway. They don't have to follow the rules like an ordinary citizen would, or even a soldier would have to. Looking through my quests here. Yes, the prologue has been completed. Very good prologue. Very detailed. A lot of stuff to learn. A lot of stuff to take in. Now, yes, this is what I was talking about in terms of helping the interrogator. His name is Heinrichs van Kalox. But before I can do that, I need to fix my ship. We also have a companion quest. Battle Sister's personal request. Argenta asked the rogue trader to talk with her on the ship as soon as the opportunity arises. Better not to put it off for too long. Immediately, I was reminded of the loyalty quests from Mass Effect. That could be interesting, but I'm not going to do that right now. I want to prioritize all of the repair quests, pardon me. New Blood. The crew losses suffered during the cultist raid can be remedied on Rykad Minoris. Yeah, we need to restaff. Machine Spirit Keeper. The Void Ship requires a new engine seer, who may be found somewhere in the system. The guide. The Void Ship needs a new navigator. One may be found on the Navis Nobolite station. Maybe finding an engine seer should be my first order of business. go to Rykad, I guess. Rykad is where we... Rykad and Minoris. Here's my seat of power. And Vox Master Vidgis is, I guess, what you call the communications lead on the ship. A thin, pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment. And you see the grate of a quietly humming Vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respectful greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? Remind me who you are. What are the Vox Master's duties? Your appearance is unique. You are a Voidborn, are you not? Fellowship 95%. Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. I have a pretty good chance of success. 95%. That will be all for now. Let's try this. Fellowship test succeeded. The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she is holding. It is done, Lord Captain. Gain 7 experience, hey. You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. Oh, really? That worked out perfectly. My appearance comes from my heritage, generation after generation of people who spent their entire lives in the depths of this void ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our home, but the same can be said about many denizens of the Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are the Voidborn. Yes, so the Voidborn are people who are born on ships and spend their entire lives on the ships. They never set foot on a planet. Is that correct? They're just stuck on the ship their whole life. That's got to suck. Where does the word Voidborn come from? Tell me about the lives of the Voidborn in my crew. How do others on the ship treat you? Have you ever left the ship? I see. Let us return to business. I would like to know if you ever left the ship. Oh, I did once, and it was dreadful. It felt like the massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall. My bones would be crushed by the gravity. Vidgis twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds. Brings new meaning to the term homebody, doesn't it? Where does the word Voidborn come from? Because we are the children born in the void between the stars, be it the womb of a traveling vessel, an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station. Low gravity, voyages through the warp, and the countless dangers of space travel. Everything others hate and dread is second nature to us. How do others on the ship treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during longer voyages. Vidgis hesitates before continuing. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks. blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restock the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira Talas not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear of her was even greater than their fear of the Voidborn. They're essentially going to turn to cannibalism. Crazy. I think I'll just skip the rest of. Oh, a new question popped up. Looks like you are close friends of Idira. Webs of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of Vidgis' eyes, the only hint that the Vox Master is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage. But you see, many consider Idira to be different. I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company discussing regicide over a glass of amasec. A human tabletop game played across the Imperium of Man, similar to the ancient Terran game of chess. Ah, yes, that's right. Amasec, a potent alcoholic drink of varying quality, widely available across the Imperium. Except the Idira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It is good I can still look after her in my own way. Hey, the Lord Captain Theodora, her passing was actually very, very recent, and you already noticed Idira drifting apart, hey? It's literally only been like maybe an hour or so. You're very sensitive, aren't you? Let us return to business. I'll skip the last one. As you wish, Lord Captain. I'll be off now. I live to serve, Lord Captain. Oh, I can level up. Let me make sure to level up now. So, the next rank, I get a bunch of options again. Oh, here we go. There we go. So, the last time I chose what? That was Daring Breach. Endure. That was... Here we go. I chose Thick Skin. I gain 1 damage deflection. My parry chance increased by 25% of my total armor. This time out, I'm gonna stick to this short list of talents just so that it's not so overwhelming. Yeah, I think previously I was choosing between Contempt or Thick Skin. I decided to go for Thick Skin, so this time I think I will go for Contempt. Defensive stance? That's also a decent one, actually. Oops. Cautious disengage. Okay. Clenched teeth. The warrior gains +5 damage deflection against the first attack made by every enemy this combat. Well, that's not bad either. Stentorian voice. Enemies in a 5-cell radius around the Navy officer while the braced effect lasts suffer -10 weapon skill and -10 ballistic skill. Interesting. Ooh. Ramming speed increases charge distance by +3 cells. Ooh. The warrior becomes incredibly deft. Charge and slash do not end the warrior's movement and grant +40% dodge on 1 round after use. For one round after use. I said I would stick to the shortened list, the thumbs up, which I assume is the game's recommendations. But I'm getting curious. I'm definitely curious about what I may be missing. I couldn't help myself. These ones all kind of play up the fact that I'm from a death world. Jeez. While the brace effect lasts, a Navy officer can use the Get Off Me ability once per round. And the targets of their melee attacks must pass an agility resistance test with a -10 penalty or fall prone. But this is only if I have the braced effect active. The stentorian voice is interesting as well. All right, what am I gonna do? I think at first I was going to go for, what was the one that like made me very sort of mobile? What was it called? I forget. I want to check something. Yeah, this origin talent. This has a cooldown of 1 round. I gain +1 charge of this ability at the start of combat when wounds drop below 50% for the first time in combat, and each time an ally falls unconscious for the first time. So get it at the start of combat, get 1 charge. Start combat, get another charge if my wounds drop below 50% for the first time in combat. And also get a +1 charge each time an ally falls unconscious or at the first time in combat. Yeah, I would like to be able to use this and be able to leverage this with other sort of complementary talents, but yeah, I'm tempted to get off me. But maybe I just end up going for. There we go. I'd go contempt. Took me this long to actually just come back all the way around to my first. This was gonna be my first choice, but I just want to look around. I just want to look around. There's just so many options, and I can also choose a characteristic to boost. The thumbs up, I assume, is what they recommend again. Really do well to keep boosting my toughness. Toughness. Yeah, I want to be a tank. Right. Oh. Contempt, toughness, yeah. Apply. Okay, yeah, that kind of went through a bit of paralysis there. So, how do I advance forward to the mission that I want to do? Oh, here I can talk to Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Abelard surveys you briskly but meticulously as though he is inspecting you for shortcomings. Then he offers a courteous nod. Let's talk about things that may be useful to me as a rogue trader. I'd like to know more about my seneschal. You may call me by my first name if you wish. I must take my leave. Until next time, seneschal. Let's talk about things that may be useful to me.
A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
So the voice acting came back. Maybe only for certain characters and at certain times. Outline a situation in the Koronus Expanse for me. What do I need to know and keep in mind? Who are the main players I need to be aware of in the Koronus Expanse? Kunbad, our previous master, whispers. What can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next? That is all for now. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do when it comes to dialogue during free roam. So if I'm not being railroaded down a mandatory conversation, I'm not going to read every single line of dialogue. I think it's gonna be way too much. It was fine doing it during the prologue, but if this is gonna be like a 100-hour game, I think I'm just going to pass out in my seat if I'm just reading every single dialogue, even with these optional. Not that Abelard's optional, but you know, I'll be chatting with people on my crew. There'll be less significant NPCs, right? And if I'm just reading every single line of dialogue out of them, it's gonna take forever. So for conversations like this, I think I'm just gonna start just skimming, reading silently. On occasion, I'll read out some of the response options I have or something. But I'll try to find a better balance. But I'm not gonna be 100% hardcore reading every single thing that's said by these characters, just for expediency's sake. Okay, why don't we try doing that? I'd like to know more about my seneschal.
As you wish, Lord Captain. What would you like to know?
In a case like this, would I actually have the voice audio? Then that's fantastic. Then yeah, that's taken care of. Well, tell me about yourself.
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, I used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling, the essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue trader's personal capsule. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the Expanse.
The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless.
Leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy.
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. Well, the Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and muster lists. On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank.
Well, I did not realize I was even trying to coerce Abelard. But I succeeded and I gained some XP. Oh, ask if he has a family.
I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. My family lives on Dargonus. None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship, and I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps.
Thanks.
Of course.
Do I allow him to call me by my name? My first name? Yeah, sure.
I thank you for the honor, but I must decline.
Huh.
As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
Okay.
Lord Captain.
I think Argenta is down here. I'm gonna go seek her out. I'm gonna talk to the Helmsman first. Remind me, who are you? Is he also Voidborn? Okay. Finish your story, Ravor. Ooh, I can share naval stories with him. Ravor is unsuccessfully trying to remember how to smile. What can you tell me about the other officers? Tell me, do you like anyone at all? I'll take my leave. I wonder if it's just better to exhaust all the conversation options as I can with my crew. I wonder. Oh, here's Argenta.
Rogue trader.
Tell me about the Adepta Sororitas. I have trouble saying it sometimes.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. We... I beg your pardon, Rogue Trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
What order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics, nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
I have to admit, I spaced out a bit as she was speaking there. Oh, look at this. Oh, my chance of success is not great. The Order Pronatus is not one of the Order's militant, and yet you are a trained fighter. Should I try?
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge. And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
True, true. You said you belong to the Calixian branch of your order.
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parson Mr. Wayne, the station's founder.
Drusians? Followers of the cult of Saint Drusus, a legendary hero of the Angevin Crusade, who founded the Calixtus sector for the Imperial Man.
None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
They say the Adepta Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adepta Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me.
I know you sure missed a lot of shots in the last couple battles we had.
Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her. For nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of fault and weakness.
Sorry.
Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
Alright. No more questions.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Actually, I do have some more questions. Tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
I think you already said enough. So, how'd you end up on the ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the cultist attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, where crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I had barely recovered from my wounds when the cultists struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
Machinations. What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora and his men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
Yeah, you said you weren't gonna make any mistakes. That's the mistake you made. Is this gonna impact my relationship with her? I gotta think about relationships, right? So.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Well, if it is tracking anything, it doesn't show you in terms of like a relationship meter or something, so.
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse, no one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
Sounds like the favor you want from me is you want me to go back there so we can settle the score.
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Idira to last among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the cultists. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Interesting.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
Okay.
As you wish.
Let's hear. Oh, let's ask this question. What's keeping you in my retinue?
The ship was targeted by heretics, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
It's cold. Option 4 is cold as hell. Oh, I like this. I like this reply.
Those are very courteous words, Rogue Trader. Thank you, both for your words and your hospitality.
Let's hear the personal request now.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans?
What good would meeting them do? Make arrangements for a meeting worthy of a rogue trader. I will address orphans with a speech. I'll meet with them, no formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valancius dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve. Deliver this order on my behalf. The orphans are to be properly provided for, but a personal meeting with the rogue trader is too much. Why would I? Do you wish to fill the children's heads with the illusion that the world and its rulers care about them? I will not. I will have no part in this. I'll meet with them.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
I'm too nice, aren't I? Oh, it just happens right away. The motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Schola Progenium, a division of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of orphans of those officers and nobles who have died in the service of the Imperium. Oh, I see. Orphan mill. Yeah, that wasn't that No. I thought Infernus Master Monte was the guy who gave me attitude, but it wasn't. Give them treats and escort them to their homes. I believe a minute of beholding the Lord Captain is a great enough honor for them. I'll give them a short little speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches." Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to say, say them without fear. I will listen. Rest assured you won't be abandoned, you'll be taken care of. Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, else should I talk to before we get going? No, Argenta, we've had enough of a talk. I think I've spoken with you the most, actually. Here's Danrok. Training? Remind me, what is it you do on my ship? Handles a lot of things. Alright, let's get to know Janris. How did you come to serve the Von Valencia's dynasty? What was it like working with Theodora? I wish to know what you think of your fellow crew members. I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. I wish to bolster my retinue with skilled fighters. My retinue and I are in need of training. I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder. I guess I gotta ask about each of these suppliers. Oh shit, what's going on with my controller? Okay. What do followers of Saint Drusus acquire from us? Tell me more about the explorators. I'm interested in the Kasbalika mission. What is this Fellowship of the Void? Looks like all these buyers can be found on Footfall. Okay, why are we giving away our spoils to these people in the first place? Of course. I suggest we change the subject. I wish to bolster my retinue of skilled fighters. Oh, that ends the dialogue? Oh, I see. What? I can create another custom character? I already have a soldier. I have Argenta, so maybe I'll just skip this for now. I changed my mind. Yeah. Okay, there's some more questions, I think. How did you come to serve the Von Valencius dynasty? What was it like working with Theodora? A very diplomatic answer. A very well-worded response, I must say. This guy knows his way around. I wish to know what you think of your fellow crew members. Gossip. Janris's eyes light up. He is obviously eager to speak his mind. Tell me what you think of Seneschal Abelard Rosarian. I'd like to hear your opinion of Kunrad Vodvir, the former Master of Whispers. True, true. What do you have to say about Vox Master Vidgis Tolliman? I wish to discuss something else. I think we're done. Yeah. Okay, I will say if I begin to nod off, it depends when I do these recordings. If I begin to nod off, then I will start reading aloud the dialogue. Oh, Idira is here. Let's chat. Lots of questions. Idira, about your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You are a psyker. Psykers are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra? I'm concerned about your level of control over your abilities. I am worried for the crew. Psykers aren't the safest people to live alongside. Never mind.
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut. If it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Koronus Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Interesting. Astronomicon. Okay. Wow, the dialogue just keeps branching. Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen
Lyra.
local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win. From poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years. But there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me.
Lyra.
But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
You never finished your story about your first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
Maybe you open up later as we get to know each other. How did you end up in the rogue trader's service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. And as I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then, Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered their guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So, I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the Von Valancius dynasty.
Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
Okay, what did you do before you came to be on the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra.
You're also pretty good at melting people with your chain lightning, I gotta say.
There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Jeez. Let's talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
What's it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me, but it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
How do you live this, whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little Amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
What would happen if your door burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure.
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Idira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face, her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door.
Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained. Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion. A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
Things are strained between you and Argenta, isn't that right?
The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Got a new story for me?
You bet I do, Lord Captain. Okay, so we went to Footfall once. Well, I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall a lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering since I woke up, but there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrive at the place, and what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness. So they sat down and the cards were dealt. I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those ones who just scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With teeth. And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star.
Did you know Theodora well?
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well, not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong, only when I was asked. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
I feel like, is this the same question?
All right, let's hear what
Oh yeah, it is the same question.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild.
Yeah.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Cool. Who else do I need to talk to? What a beautiful ship this is. And it's all mine. But these are no names. Okay. Oh, I see. I have to go back to Abelard and then turn right. Or I can look at the map. Oh, okay. This is where I'm ready to actually move. Well, I have 0 of everything. Ooh. Wow. So we have this sub game of managing the void ship. Righteous Absolution. Wow. Yeah, crazy detail in this game. Go back to the bridge for a sec. I'm not quite sure where I need to head off to. Okay, Raikan, Minoris, or Navis Nobolite. But let me check out. Oh, I can go to my quarters. Okay, let's have a quick jaunt to my quarters. Link your account. Oh no. Alright, unpause. Okay, yeah, never mind. Come on, select the thing that I'm standing in front of. Definitely a drawback of using the controller to play this game. Can change my appearance. Oh, sweet. So I can actually load up a custom portrait. I might just do that, but I have to prepare one. Oh, okay, that is very cool. That is very cool. Okay, I did a quick edit here so I could go off and create a custom portrait for myself. I used Chat GPT just to speed things up. So, okay, there is me. Yeah, here's my. How come my look how it's just showing this one. It doesn't show the other version. Oh yeah, I think I'm good actually. I think I'm good. Yay. Let's oh, my character in here. Hey, there we go. I look quite a bit better. I don't look like the aristocratic fop that I did in the in the game asset in the default version. No, I like this one a lot better. Cool. So what I'm gonna do, I've been going on for quite some time already with this episode, and I apologize for it being kind of slow, but as you can tell, I just been taking my time to get to know my crew, and I maybe even nodded off slightly during one of the conversations. Quite by accident. I need to be careful not to record episodes late at night. like I'm doing now. Or at least wait until I'm a lot more energetic. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick a destination. I'm gonna fly there. Let's take a look at the map. Oh shoot, what's going on now? Okay, good. So I think my first destination, I can't even read this. You can do some optional encounters as well. This is crazy. Rycat, any place with the icon, that triangular icon is basically a quest destination. Okay, so this is, yeah, Rycat Minoris has 3 quests that I can knock out. Whereas, what is this place? Visit Rycat Philia, Rycati Philia, and Ep.5. I don't even get any information on Ep.5. Scan is required. Okay, so I will head over to Rycad Minoris at the start of the next episode, and then yeah, we'll go from there. But I just wanted to cut this episode here. For I don't want this one to run too much longer. It's basically an hour and a half of me just getting to know my crew. Very useful, time well spent, but a little bit slow, I will admit. So thank you for watching once again. I hope you've been enjoying the blind playthrough so far. I will see you all in the next episode. You take care, and yeah, goodbye for now.